Okay, let's unpack this. When the idea of saving money comes up, the first thought for so many of us is, well, it feels like a restriction, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Like we're saying no to fun, no to experiences, no to things we want now, all for some vague, maybe someday future. It can feel like a chore, like deprivation.
Mm-hmm.
But what if we looked at it completely differently?
Okay.
What if saving wasn't about what you're giving up today, but about what you're making possible for tomorrow?
Right.
What if it wasn't restriction, but something far more powerful, liberation?
That shift in perspective is precisely what these core ideas are about. It reframes saving entirely.
How so?
Well, it's not seen as sacrifice, but as an active process of building options, creating a solid foundation of security and strategically enabling yourself to achieve goals that truly matter in your life.
Oh, okay.
It moves the conversation from a mindset of scarcity, focusing on what you can't spend, to a mindset of opportunity, focusing on what you are empowering yourself to do.
Oh, liberation. Options. Building a future you choose. Now that sounds a lot more appealing than just saving money.
Doesn't it?
It's not about hoarding. It's about intentionally directing your resources to build something meaningful for yourself down the line.
Mm-hmm.
And the principles we're digging into aren't just abstract theories, are they? We're looking at a set of 7 fundamental rules, truly actionable strategies.
Exactly. Actionable.
Designed to fundamentally reshape your relationship with money and, as a result, alter your financial path in profound ways.
Yes, these aren't just theoretical concepts. They are practical steps. And when applied not just once, but consistently over time,
Mm,
well, their impacts on your financial well-being can be transformative.
right.
Our goal here is to really dig into each of these rules, understand not just the what, but the how, and importantly, the why behind them,
And how they work together.
and explore the significant cumulative impact they can have when woven together and put into consistent practice.
Yeah. All right, let's get into these 7 foundational rules. The first one feels almost like a cheat code because it tackles the biggest barrier for many people, willpower.
Mm-hmm. Willpower is finite.
Rule number 1 is automate your savings. This is the powerful set it and forget it principle.
This rule taps into a fundamental understanding of human behavior. We all have limited willpower, like you said.
Yeah, it runs out.
It does.
Yeah.
Relying on yourself to consciously decide to move money into savings every payday, every week, every month, that constant decision fatigue can lead to inconsistency.
Especially when something fun comes up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially when faced with competing demands or temptations. So the most effective way to ensure saving actually happens reliably and consistently is to remove the decision-making process entirely. Make it automatic.
It makes so much sense. Instead of needing to muster discipline each time, you build a system that does the saving for you.
Precisely. The system takes over.
So how do you actually implement this automation? What are the practical steps?
Okay, one of the most straightforward methods is to implement automatic transfers.
Right, from checking to savings.
Exactly. This means setting up a recurring transfer from your primary checking account to a separate savings or investment account. You decide on a specific amount. Maybe it's a fixed dollar figure, maybe a percentage of your income,
Whatever works for you.
whatever works, and you schedule it to happen automatically. Timing is key here, though.
Oh, how so?
Ideally, you want this transfer to occur the same day or the day after your paycheck hits your checking account.
Get it out quick.
Get it out quick. The less time the money sits in your checking account, the less likely you are to mentally allocate it for spending. Out of sight, out of mind, kinda.
It's like intercepting the money before you even start thinking about discretionary spending. And the power really is in the consistency, right?
Absolutely.
Even if it's a small amount initially, say $25 or $50 a week, doing that consistently adds up significantly over time.
Hugely. Often without causing significant pain in your day-to-day spending, because you adjust to the slightly lower amount in checking.
Your lifestyle adapts naturally.
It does. And the psychological benefit is immense. You don't have to remember, you don't have to decide, you don't have to wrestle with yourself. The system handles it.
Yeah.
Another highly effective approach, which takes this maybe a step further, is direct deposit allocation.
Where the money bypasses your checking account entirely. Like it never even lands there.
Precisely. Many employers offer the option to split your direct deposit.
Okay.
You can instruct your payroll department to send a specific amount or percentage of your paycheck directly into a savings account, an investment account like a 401k or your IRA, or even multiple accounts,
Before you get the rest.
before the remainder of your pay is deposited into your checking account. This embodies the save before you see it philosophy, in its most literal form. The money you've designated for savings never even appears in your checking account ledger, making it much easier to live on the remaining amount because that's all you perceive as readily available for spending.
That feels incredibly powerful. It pre-commits a portion of your income to your future self without any opportunity for second guessing.
Zero opportunity.
And the third method mentioned isn't about a bank transfer as much as a mental transfer, right? Which reinforces the automation. Treat savings as a bill.
Yes, this is a crucial mindset shift, a really important one.
Tell me more.
Instead of viewing saving as an optional activity, you do if there's money left over at the end of the month.
Which there often isn't.
Which there often isn't, exactly. You elevate it to the status of a mandatory expense. You budget for it alongside your rent, mortgage, utilities, insurance, and other non-negotiable bills.
So it's right up there with keeping the lights on.
Right up there. By giving your savings contribution this level of priority within your financial framework, you ensure it gets paid every single time income arrives. It reinforces the automated transfer by solidifying its importance in your mind.
So whether it's through automated transfers you set up yourself, direct deposit from your employer, or simply mentally prioritizing it like any other bill, the core benefit of Rule 1 is offloading the burden of consistent saving from your limited daily willpower onto an automated system.
Let the system do the heavy lifting.
It ensures steady progress towards your goals without the mental drain of having to force yourself to save each time. Think about how much easier it is to build wealth when it's happening on autopilot.
It truly makes saving the default behavior, turning it from a point of potential friction into a seamless part of your financial life. It just happens.
Which naturally leads us to Rule number 2, a principle that underpins the effectiveness of Rule 1. Embrace the pay yourself first philosophy.
Ah, yes, a classic.
This is a phrase you encounter constantly in personal finance, and for good reason. It's not just a nice idea, it's a foundational principle that shifts the power dynamic in your financial life.
Absolutely.
The core idea is simple. When your income arrives, the very first allocation of funds is to you.
Right. To your future self.
Meaning to your future self, your savings, your investments, before you pay anyone else, before you pay any bill, before you buy groceries, before any discretionary spending.
This philosophy is revolutionary for many, because the traditional approach is often the opposite.
Yeah.
Earn money, pay all the bills, cover essential expenses, maybe have some fun.
If you're lucky.
And then if there's anything left over, try to save it. Under pay yourself first, that changes entirely. You are your most important creditor.
I like that framing.
You make saving the absolute top financial priority the moment income hits your account.
So the savings goal isn't an afterthought. It's right there at the top of the list, maybe even before the landlord or the utility company, in terms of priority, I mean.
In terms of priority, precisely. It dictates the structure of your budget and fundamentally changes how you perceive your income. A predetermined portion is immediately earmarked for your future well-being.
Right.
And to make this philosophy truly impactful, it needs to be connected to specific financial goals. That's key.
Ah, the why behind the action. What are you paying yourself for? Why are you making this the priority?
Exactly. Are you aggressively building that initial emergency fund we'll discuss later?
Okay.
Are you saving for a down payment on a significant purchase like a home? Are you prioritizing retirement contributions for your long-term security?
Maybe saving for a big trip or education.
Or a major life event like starting a family or changing careers? Yes. By explicitly tying the money you are paying yourself to these concrete, meaningful goals, it provides powerful motivation.
It gives it purpose.
It gives it purpose. It transforms saving from feeling like you're just moving money into a black hole into feeling like you are actively making progress towards something you genuinely desire for your future.
Yeah, I could see that.
It makes the saving feel less like an act of deprivation in the present and more like an investment in your own well-being and aspirations.
That really changes the emotional valence, doesn't it? It's not just money disappearing, it's building blocks for your dream. Security for unexpected events or future freedom being purchased one paycheck at a time.
Well said.
It turns saving into a deliberate, intentional act of self-care and future building, rather than a hopeful maybe at the end of the month.
And by prioritizing your own financial future in this way, you ensure that your well-being and long-term goals are always at the forefront of your financial decisions. It's a deliberate choice to put yourself and your future first, ensuring that saving isn't left to chance.
Okay, so we're building the system with automation, and we're putting ourselves first mentally and financially. Now for rule number 3. Distinguish needs from wants.
Ah, the clarity principle. This one's big.
This is the clarity principle, and this one is absolutely fundamental because, let's be honest, we are incredibly skilled at rationalizing our spending
Oh, we are masters.
and convincing ourselves that things we merely want are actually things we need.
We are masters of mental gymnastics when it comes to spending. Many of our daily spending habits are deeply ingrained, almost unconscious.
Just autopilot spending.
Right.
Yeah.
And we often categorize them as necessities without critical evaluation. But gaining absolute clarity on the fundamental difference between what you truly need to live and function and what you merely want for comfort, entertainment, or convenience, well, that's vital for effective saving.
That's where the opportunities are hidden.
It's where you start identifying significant opportunities to redirect funds. Exactly.
How do we peel back those layers and get this clarity? It sounds like it requires some honest self-assessment and perhaps a bit of digging into our habits.
It absolutely does. The first step involves a period of meticulous tracking and categorization. You have to categorize every expense,
Every single one.
every single dollar. For a defined period, often a full month or even longer, you track every single dollar spent and consciously classify it. Is it a true need?
Like what? Define need.
Okay, these are things essential for basic survival and maintaining your ability to earn income. Shelter, rent, mortgage, basic utilities, water, electricity, essential groceries to prepare meals at home.
Emphasis on essential groceries.
Yes, essential. Necessary transportation to work or for essential errands, gas, public transport fare,
Yeah.
minimum debt payments, basic insurance. Those are needs.
And wants.
Or is it a want?
This encompasses basically everything else. Dining out, entertainment subscriptions, streaming services, gym memberships you hardly use.
Ouch. Too close to home.
Ha! Discretionary purchases like new gadgets, clothes you don't strictly need, premium coffees, vacations, hobbies, upgraded services. The list goes on.
Right.
This initial tracking and categorization process can be genuinely eye-opening for most people. You think you know where your money goes.
But you don't, really.
But seeing it laid out and categorized forces a confrontation with reality. I can totally see that. You might have a vague sense of your spending, but seeing a pie chart or a list with categories labeled needs and wants, especially that potentially big chunk under wants, could be quite a jolt.
It can be, yeah.
What's the next step after this initial classification? Just seeing it isn't enough, right?
No. Then comes the critical step of challenging your needs.
Okay, questioning the unquestionable.
Exactly. You take a hard look at everything you initially classified as a need and ask, is this truly essential, or is it a deeply ingrained habit or a preferred level of comfort that you've simply labeled as a need?
Give me an example.
Okay, the classic example is transportation. Owning a car to get to a job in a rural area might be a need, sure.
Makes sense.
But is owning an expensive car or driving when public transport is viable and cheaper truly a need? Probably not.
Right. Or food?
Similarly, while food is a need, dining out frequently or ordering expensive meal kits isn't a need, it's a want. The daily specialty coffee purchase, while coffee might feel essential for productivity or routine.
It certainly feels essential some mornings.
Huh, I get it.
Hmm.
But is buying it daily from a cafe a need or a want?
Yeah.
Could that need be fulfilled by making coffee at home for pennies on the dollar?
Yeah, probably.
This step requires honest introspection and questioning your assumptions about what you must spend money on. It's about distinguishing between what's necessary for survival and livelihood versus what's necessary for your current lifestyle.
And recognizing that lifestyle choices can often be adjusted.
Yeah, that's the challenging part, right?
Well,
Accepting that some things we feel are indispensable are actually discretionary choices.
yeah, it's about being brutally honest with yourself about where your money is actually going versus where you think it's going or where you'd like it to go.
Precisely. And once you have this clear breakdown of your spending patterns, sorted into true needs and identifiable wants that you've critically evaluated, then the final step is to allocate consciously.
Okay.
Using that knowledge,
Yeah.
you use this newfound clarity to intentionally direct more of your funds towards true needs and, crucially, towards your savings goals.
Connecting back to Rule 1 and 2.
Exactly. Linking back to paying yourself first and automating those savings. Simultaneously, you make strategic decisions to reduce or eliminate spending on wants that you've identified as less valuable to you or that don't align with your larger financial goals.
But it's not about deprivation.
It's not necessarily about total deprivation of all wants forever. It's about mindful redirection. It's about choosing which wants bring you the most value,
Yeah.
and aligning your spending on wants with your overall financial picture, making conscious choices.
I see. It's empowering because you're making conscious choices about your money based on reality, not just letting it flow based on habit or impulse.
Exactly.
You're redirecting funds from immediate, fleeting gratification towards building a future that offers more substantial, lasting freedom. It fosters mindful spending.
It truly puts you back in the driver's seat of your finances. You're in control.
And this ability to distinguish needs from wants and to allocate consciously is only possible if you first know exactly where your money is going. Which brings us perfectly to rule number 4. Track your spending. This is the fundamental awareness principle.
You got it.
And the core truth here is so simple, but so powerful. You cannot manage what you do not measure.
That is perhaps the most critical starting point. Before you can make any meaningful changes to your spending or saving habits, you absolutely must understand your baseline reality.
Where is the money going?
Where exactly is your money going? Without this data, any attempt to budget or save is just guesswork. Tracking provides the raw information needed to identify opportunities and make informed decisions.
So how do we go about measuring this? What tools or methods are best for effective tracking?
Well, the good news is it's flexible. The specific tool you use is less important than the consistency of the habit.
Okay.
You can start as simply as using a small notebook and pen, meticulously writing down every single expense.
Old school. I like it.
Totally works. Or you can use a spreadsheet on your computer or in the cloud. However, for many people today, leveraging technology is the easiest way to be consistent.
Apps and stuff.
Yeah, there are countless budgeting and expense tracking apps available for smartphones and computers. Some require manual entry, which actually forces a higher level of awareness with each transaction.
Makes you think twice.
It can, yeah. Others can link directly to your bank accounts and credit cards, automatically importing transactions for categorization. This saves time, but maybe reduces that moment-to-moment awareness slightly.
Pros and cons either way.
Right.
Yeah.
The key is finding a method that works for you and committing to recording every single expense, no matter how small. That $3 coffee, that $1 convenience store purchase, they all need to be accounted for.
Okay, so you've been diligent recording every purchase for a period. Is the act of tracking itself enough? Or is there a crucial next step?
Tracking is definitely only the first part. The equally critical second part is to review regularly.
Look at the data.
Yes, you need to set aside time, consistently, maybe weekly, maybe monthly, to look at the data you've collected. This is where the insights emerge.
What are you looking for?
The goal of the review is to identify patterns in your spending that you weren't aware of, to discover money leaks.
Money leaks, right.
Those small, frequent expenses that individually seem insignificant but add up to surprisingly large amounts over time, like that daily coffee or multiple small online purchases.
Guilty as charged.
Huh. And truly understand where your financial resources are flowing on a macro level.
Money leaks is such a perfect description. It's like discovering you've had a slow drip under the sink that's wasted gallons of water without you noticing the flow.
Exactly. That's a great analogy.
You only see the higher water bill or the mold damage later.
Precisely.
Wow.
And this regular review process is what allows you to clearly identify habits.
The unconscious stuff.
Tracking brings your unconscious spending habits to light. Perhaps you didn't realize how much you spend on impulse buys at the grocery store checkout.
Or subscription creep.
Or how quickly subscription fees are eating into your budget. Or how much money is spent on convenience food because you didn't pack a lunch. This awareness, seeing the actual numbers tied to these habits, is incredibly empowering.
Knowledge is power.
It really is. It allows you to address those habits directly. It helps you pinpoint specific areas where you can realistically reduce spending and save, often without feeling deprived.
Because you see what you were spending it on.
Because you now have a clear, factual picture of where that money was going anyway, often towards things you didn't even consciously value that much.
So tracking isn't just a tedious task of data entry. It's about gaining crucial objective data and profound insights into your own behavior and priorities. It provides the raw material, the factual basis. You need to actually make informed decisions about your money and identify where those valuable saving opportunities truly exist. It's the essential foundation.
It turns financial management from guesswork into a data-driven process. You're working with facts.
And having that data from tracking leads us directly to rule number 5. Create a budget. and stick to it.
The blueprint.
The blueprint principle, exactly. And it's vital to understand that a budget isn't a rigid, restrictive cage designed to make your life miserable.
No, please don't think that.
It's actually the opposite. It's a financial roadmap, a clear plan for your money that ensures every dollar you earn has a purpose and is working towards your goals.
That reframe is so important. A budget isn't about limiting your freedom. It's about giving your money intentional direction. It's a forward-looking tool.
Right.
It allows you to allocate your financial resources according to your priorities, rather than letting them be spent haphazardly based on whatever comes up.
So how do you go about constructing this financial blueprint effectively? What's the process?
Okay, the first step, built upon the previous rules, is to develop a realistic budget.
Realistic being the key word.
Absolutely. This budget absolutely must be grounded in your reality. It uses your actual income as the starting point and is informed by the detailed spending data you collected while tracking in Rule 4.
Okay, using that tracked data.
Yes. Coupled with the insights you gain from distinguishing needs and wants in Rule 3, it needs to allocate funds realistically to all necessary categories of spending: your true needs, your essential bills, a reasonable amount for carefully chosen wants.
And savings.
And, crucially, it must include your savings goal as a non-negotiable line item right at the beginning.
Paying yourself first, baked in.
Exactly. This reinforces Rule 2, pay yourself first, by formally integrating it into your plan. An unrealistic budget, one based on wishful thinking, is doomed to fail from the start. So accuracy based on your tracked spending is paramount.
So you're not just guessing how much you spent on groceries last month. You're using the actual tracked data to set that category in your budget.
You got it.
And you're putting savings in there before anything else. Now, there's this concept mentioned, assign every dollar a job. Tell me about that.
Yes. This is often referred to as a zero-based budget, although you don't need to strictly follow that specific methodology to benefit from the core idea.
Okay.
The principle is that every single dollar of your income for a given pay period or month is accounted for and assigned a specific purpose before the month begins.
Every single dollar.
Every single one. Your total income minus all your planned expenses, including savings, debt payments, investing, should equal zero.
Ah, okay. Zero leftover unassigned.
Exactly. This means that no money is left unassigned to be spent mindlessly or disappear without you knowing where it went. Every dollar has a specific destination, whether it's saving, investing, paying a bill, or being allocated to a specific spending category like groceries, transportation, or fund money.
Right. So if you bring in, say, $4,000 after taxes this month, you create a plan where that entire $4,000 is fully allocated. $500 to savings, $1,200 to rent, $400 groceries, $150 utilities, $300 debt payment, $400 transport, $250 for wants like entertainment, dining out, whatever it is.
And so on until the total equals $4,000. Nothing is left floating around unplanned. No mystery spending.
Exactly. It provides immense clarity and control. It prevents money from evaporating. And the material is very clear that a budget isn't a static document you create once and then forget about.
No, absolutely not. It's a living document.
It requires you to review and adjust it regularly.
Absolutely. Life is dynamic. Your income might increase.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Expenses might change: a car repair, a change in insurance costs, inflation impacting groceries, or your goals might evolve.
Right. Life happens.
Life happens. A budget needs to be reviewed regularly. At least monthly is recommended to see if you stayed within your planned allocations, identify where you over or underspent, and make adjustments as needed for the following period.
Learning as you go.
Exactly. It needs to be flexible enough to adapt to the realities of life while still maintaining the underlying discipline of directing your money with intention. This review process is also critical for sticking to the budget. It's your opportunity to learn from the previous month and make better choices going forward.
So the clear benefit of this rule is that a well-crafted budget, built on your tracked spending and prioritized with paying yourself first, provides the essential financial discipline.
Discipline and direction.
It ensures you are consistently moving towards your saving goals by giving your money a planned destination, effectively preventing impulse spending and ensuring your financial resources are aligned with your aspirations.
It translates awareness into action, turning your financial goals into a concrete plan you can actually follow day to day, week to week.
Now, even with all the systems in place, automation, budgeting, tracking, there's a human element that is absolutely essential for long-term success.
Oh, yes. The human factor.
Rule number 6, Cultivate patience and consistency. This is the compounding principle.
So crucial.
And it's wise to point out that building significant wealth through saving and investing is fundamentally a marathon, not a sprint.
This is where many people get discouraged. They start saving, they look at their balance after a few months, maybe even a year,
It doesn't look like much.
and it doesn't look dramatically different.
Hmm.
Financial success built this way is rarely about sudden windfalls or getting rich quickly. The most substantial, enduring financial gains are the direct result of consistent, disciplined effort applied over extended periods,
That's time. Lots of time.
allowing the truly powerful force of compounding to work its magic unimpeded.
Compounding. Albert Einstein supposedly called it the eighth wonder of the world.
Huh. If he did, he was right.
It's the idea of earning interest or returns not just on your initial principal, but also on the accumulated interest or returns from previous periods. It starts slow, but accelerates over time.
Exactly. It snowballs. And the practical application of this patience and consistency, it's about focusing on small, regular contributions.
Don't wait for a windfall.
Don't wait until you have thousands of dollars to start saving or investing. The crucial thing is to start now and contribute regularly, even modest amounts.
Like how much?
Even $50 or $100 consistently saved or invested every pay period, starting early, will build significantly more wealth over the long term than trying to save large, irregular amounts later in life.
Why is that?
Precisely because of compound interest. That small amount earns a return, and then that return starts earning returns alongside the principal. And this effect snowballs exponentially, especially over decades. Time is often your greatest asset in compounding.
So the key is to get started and simply keep going, putting in those regular amounts, even when they feel small initially.
Yes. Don't despise the day of small beginnings, as they say.
Don't let the feeling that you can't save enough prevent you from saving anything at all. Good enough, consistently applied, is far better than perfect. That never happens.
Precisely. Well put. Another crucial aspect highlighted is avoiding lifestyle creep.
Ah, the silent wealth killer.
Huh. It can be. This is a very common and insidious pitfall. As your income increases over time, you get raises, bonuses, maybe switch to a higher paying job.
Good problems to have.
Good problems, but the natural inclination for many is to immediately upgrade their lifestyle to match the new income level. More expensive car, bigger house, more dining out, more elaborate vacations.
Spending it as fast as it comes in.
Exactly. And while enjoying the fruits of your labor is fine, if you allow your spending to rise exactly in line with your income, your ability to save and build wealth remains stagnant. You're just running faster on the same spot.
And the strategic choice is instead to redirect that extra income before you get used to spending it.
Yes, the power move is to consciously redirect a significant portion, or even all, of any income increase directly towards your savings and investments before it gets absorbed into your lifestyle.
Before the new baseline is set.
Right. This dramatically accelerates your progress towards your financial goals, whether that's retirement, financial independence, or a major purchase without requiring you to cut back on your current level of spending.
You just keep living like you were, but save the difference.
You simply maintain your current lifestyle on your higher income and funnel the difference into wealth building. This is one of the most effective ways to boost your savings rate and really leverage compounding.
That's a powerful visual. Imagining your savings rate jumping significantly every time you get a raise, not just your spending.
It makes a huge difference over time.
And the final point on this rule, embracing the long game, ties it all together.
It's about understanding, deep down, that the truly substantial returns from saving and investing accrue over years, even decades.
Not months.
Not months. The most dramatic growth often happens later in the compounding process. This requires patience and trust to the system you've built.
Trust the process.
You need to maintain discipline, keep making those regular contributions, and stick to your plan even when short-term market fluctuations or slow initial growth might make it feel less impactful. It's about recognizing that the most significant payoff comes to those who stay consistent over the long haul.
This rule really underscores that discipline, persistent saving, even starting with modest amounts and increasing them over time, yields substantial rewards not overnight, but consistently year after year.
Thanks to compounding and time.
It's about having faith in the process and committing to it.
It demands patience, absolutely.
Yeah.
But the long-term payoff in terms of financial security and freedom is immeasurable, truly.
Now, before we get too focused on compounding and investing for the long haul, there is a foundational step that absolutely must be prioritized,
Yes, first things first.
even before aggressively pursuing those long-term investment goals. Rule number 7, build an emergency fund.
The safety net.
Crucial. This is the crucial safety net principle, and it's abundantly clear that establishing a robust emergency fund is a critical prerequisite for serious wealth building.
Think of it as building the stable foundation and framing for your financial house before you start adding the valuable furniture or decorations.
Good analogy.
Life is unpredictable. Unexpected events will happen. They aren't possibilities, they're inevitabilities.
Job loss, medical bills.
Job loss, a significant unexpected medical expense, a major car repair that's essential for getting to work, an emergency home repair like a leaky roof.
Yeah.
Any number of potential disruptions. Without a readily accessible emergency fund, these events don't just cause stress. They can completely derail all your other financial goals. They can force you to stop saving, maybe cash out investments at a loss, or worse, accumulate high-interest debt like credit card balances just to navigate the crisis.
Setting you back significantly.
Easily.
It's the essential protective layer that keeps life's inevitable curveballs from completely flattening your financial progress. How big should this critical safety net be? Is there a target?
Yes, there's a widely recommended target amount for an emergency fund. Aim for at least 3 to 6 months worth of your essential living expenses saved up.
3 to 6 months of essential expenses.
Essential, meaning the bare minimum you need to cover housing, basic food, utilities, necessary transportation, and essential insurance premiums. Not your total spending, just the must-haves. For individuals with less stable income sources, maybe gig workers, or those in industries with higher layoff risk, or those with significant dependents relying on their income.
More buffer needed.
Aiming for an even larger buffer, perhaps 9 to 12 months worth of expenses, provides a greater degree of security and peace of mind.
Makes sense.
The purpose of this range is to give you sufficient breathing room, enough time to find a new job if laid off, cover a significant medical deductible, or pay for a major repair without having your financial life completely unravel.
Okay, so calculate your absolute minimum monthly burn rate and multiply that by 3 to 6, or maybe more. Got it. Now, where should this money actually be stored? Should it be invested?
No, absolutely not invested. Crucially, you must keep it liquid and accessible.
Liquid and accessible. Why?
This fund is not for growing wealth through investments. Its sole purpose is immediate availability in a crisis. Therefore, it needs to be stored in a separate account.
Separate from checking.
Distinct from your regular checking account, so you're not tempted to dip into it for non-emergencies. And it needs to allow for easy, penalty-free withdrawals at any time.
Like a savings account.
A standard savings account is the common choice. Ideally, look for a high-yield savings account, HYSA, to at least earn some interest, keep up a bit with inflation.
But yield isn't the main goal.
But the priority is accessibility and safety of the principal. It should absolutely not be tied up in investments like stocks, bonds, or real estate, which can fluctuate in value.
Right, you don't want it down 20% when the roof starts leaking.
Exactly. You don't want the value of your safety net decreasing right when you need it most during a market downturn or personal crisis.
Accessibility and stability are paramount for this specific pool of money. It needs to be there in full when disaster strikes. And what happens if you do have to tap into it because a genuine emergency occurs?
Then the final critical step, which is often overlooked, is to replenish when used.
Build it back up.
If a true emergency requires you to dip into your emergency fund, making replenishing that fund your absolute top financial priority, even above other saving or investing goals for a period, is essential.
Top priority.
Top priority. You treat rebuilding that fund with the same urgency as you did building it the first time. This restores your safety net,
Getting that protection back in place.
ensuring that the next inevitable, unexpected event life throws at you doesn't turn into a major financial crisis that could force you into high-interest debt or completely dismantle the financial progress you've worked so hard to build.
So the invaluable benefit of establishing and maintaining this emergency fund is providing that essential peace of mind.
Huge peace of mind.
It's the bedrock that protects all your other financial progress and prevents life's inevitable curveballs from completely derailing your broader savings goals or forcing you into accumulating costly debt just to stay afloat.
It is truly your financial security blanket.
Enabling you to take calculated risks and pursue opportunities knowing you have a buffer.
It allows you to handle unexpected challenges without having to compromise your long-term financial objectives. It keeps you in the game.
We've navigated through 7 foundational rules. Automate your savings, embrace pay yourself first, distinguish needs from wants, track your spending, create a budget and stick to it, cultivate patience and consistency, and build an emergency fund.
Quite a journey.
Looking at them all together, it seems clear that these aren't isolated pieces of advice, but rather components of a single integrated system.
Oh, absolutely.
They really reinforce and support each other, don't they?
Absolutely. They form a highly interconnected and holistic framework. It all fits together.
How so? Connect the dots for us.
Okay, well, tracking your spending, Rule 4, gives you the factual data you need to accurately distinguish needs from wants, Rule 3.
Right, the clarity.
And build a truly realistic budget, Rule 5. That realistic budget then formalizes and facilitates the practice of paying yourself first, Rule 2.
Making it part of the plan.
Which is most effectively implemented by automating your savings transfers, Rule 1. Then, maintaining the discipline required to stick to your budget and continue those automated savings cultivates patience and consistency, Rule 6.
The long game.
Allowing the incredible power of compounding to build significant wealth over time. And all of this progress, all this system building, is protected by the Essential Emergency Fund, Rule 7.
The safety net underneath it all.
Which provides the safety net to prevent unexpected life events from forcing you to abandon the system or raid your long-term savings. See? It all links up.
It's like building a truly resilient financial structure. You lay the solid foundation with the emergency fund. You install the essential plumbing and wiring with tracking and budgeting based on clarity. You set up the automated systems to keep things flowing efficiently. And then you consistently maintain the structure and let time build value, knowing you have protection against storms. Each part makes the other stronger.
Precisely. That's a great way to visualize it. When these 7 rules are applied diligently, not just as one-off tasks, but as consistent practices integrated into your financial life.
A way of operating.
A way of operating, yes.
Yeah.
They provide a robust and profoundly powerful framework for transforming your relationship with money. They shift you from feeling reactive and potentially overwhelmed,
Which is so common.
to feeling proactive, in control, and steadily moving toward achieving significant financial freedom.
It is genuinely exciting to think about the potential impact. Starting with seemingly small, manageable steps like setting up a tiny automated transfer or just tracking your spending for a week
Small steps count.
can initiate a chain reaction of positive financial habits that, over time, compound into real financial peace of mind and the genuine ability to pursue bigger goals and live a life aligned with your true priorities.
And to leave you with a thought, something to really consider.
Okay.
Beyond just the numbers on a savings account balance, reflect on what possibilities that saving is creating for your future self.
Opportunities you might not even conceive of right now. What future freedom are you actually building?
Wow. Building towards a future you can't even fully envision yet? That's a powerful motivation to put these rules into practice. So think about it. Which of these 7 foundational rules could you realistically implement or strengthen in your own life, starting today? What future freedom are you going to start building?